How's it going, gamers? Chongo here, and today I've got a review for you guys, and the review is going to be of the Assassin's Creed 3 single player campaign for PC. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing you'll notice if you've seen the other versions of Assassin's Creed 3 and compare them to this one is the graphics. Because this is on a PC, there's obviously going to be better graphics, and you can go into the settings and you can make it extremely high if you want, or you can just set it on normal. Both of them look really fine. It just really depends on what kind of PC you have. So if you've got a lower end PC, obviously you're going to have to play with stuff on normal or low, but if you've got a really high end PC, you can turn all the settings up to high or very high. Assassin's Creed 3 picks up where Assassin's Creed Revelations left off, so if you haven't played the previous Assassin's Creed games, that's probably a good place to start. However, you can play this game as a standalone, it's just you will be missing some of the backstory since you haven't played those other games. Now this time, it's based in the American Revolution between the years of 1753 and 1783, so it's quite a large span for an Assassin's Creed game, and it's a really good change of era. This game has more of a unique feel since the previous games were all similar and close to each other in the same era, whereas this one is quite a large leap forward. Now, in Assassin's Creed 3, it does a very good job of introducing yourself to the characters, and it's done really well because previously in other Assassin's Creed games, although you do go through the lifespan of the character, very rarely did you ever actually start as a child. Whereas in this one, when you actually start off playing as Connor, you start as a child, and it's good to see you sort of grow and progress to become this assassin, which to me is kind of good, and yeah, it made me feel for the character more and all the other characters since it felt like I was growing up, as well as, yeah, just my surroundings changing as I was growing up. One of the important aspects of the storyline is knowing exactly which Templars you have to kill. Now, this to me feels like it was done really well, and you knew all your targets and basically everything about them, which I sort of felt in other Assassin's Creed games could have been done a little bit better, and it feels more like Assassin's Creed 1 in the sense where you actually knew who you were meant to kill, and your whole goal was to kill these Templars. Now, for about the first 2 hours at the beginning of the game, it's got sort of like a prologue where you're actually playing, but it's sort of introducing all these concepts to you as well as teaching you how to play the game, which is done really well, especially for people who are new to the series, as well as some people who may not have actually played it in a while and are getting back and used to the new controls of Assassin's Creed 3. In Assassin's Creed 3, you do play as a number of different characters, and it's very well done, and they have very unique and different feels. For example, some certain characters, obviously if you're not Connor, won't be able to climb up trees. So it's good in the sense that it just doesn't feel like it's just a new skin on top of the character, that they actually are their own unique characters, and certain characters can't do certain things. Now, in previous Assassin's Creed games, you didn't really have Desmond missions. It was just swapping from playing in the Animus to playing as Desmond for a little bit, whereas in this game you actually have specific Desmond missions that you go on. Now, these are very enjoyable, and it's a nice break from the Animus and playing as Connor. It also chooses very good times to do this. It doesn't choose like when you're right in the middle of a mission and takes you out. It waits until you've pretty much finished your mission and you're about to move on to something else to pull you out and to do a Desmond mission. Now moving over into the combat of Assassin's Creed 3. Now, the combat in this game feels very fluid, and it moves really fast, and it's something that I sort of felt lacked in some of the previous Assassin's Creed games, and you'd be fighting a couple of guys forever, whereas if you do some well-timed counterattacks in Assassin's Creed 3, you can keep the movement going and can start doing some very unique attacks. It's a very well done combat system, and some of the time you may avoid being stealthy just to run up and start a massive attack with guards to try and see how fast you can kill them all. Now, one of the big aspects of Assassin's Creed 3 and any Assassin's Creed game is the free roam. Now, this game has amazing free roam, and you can spend hours getting lost up in just exploring these cities such as Boston and New York. Now, these cities are massive, and like with any Assassin's Creed game, as soon as you have a break from your main mission, you can go off and explore and spend hours doing that if you wish to basically slow down your main storyline for a bit. However, the main storyline is really addicting, so you may get stuck playing that, and yeah, towards the end you might just have to force yourself to go around and try some of the awesome free roam side quests. Now, this Assassin's Creed game feels like the longest Assassin's Creed game yet. If you haven't bought it yet and you have played the previous Assassin's Creed games, I definitely recommend buying this because this is now my favorite Assassin's Creed game. And yeah, if you haven't played any Assassin's Creed games, you should obviously go back and start from the beginning, but if you don't really want to do that, you can pick up from here. However, you will obviously miss out on some of the storyline elements that were in the previous games. This brings me to the end of my review of Assassin's Creed 3 on the PC. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and if you've got any comments about Assassin's Creed 3 or this review, put them below, and if you want to join the gamerhood, just subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.